major chord his love, and she got it right. What she played it on came from the light.
Welcome to Grandma's Journals. This channel began with a collection of handwritten journals, pages filled with everyday moments, quiet faith, family stories, and a kind of wisdom that only comes from a life well lived. These journals belong to my Grandma Peggy. Inside them are her thoughts, her prayers, her joys, and her struggles. Moments that may have felt ordinary at the time, but now feel priceless. My hope is that as you listen, you'll feel connected to her story and maybe even your own. Thanks for being here. This is Grandma's Journal.
The beauty of the song is joy in her eyes. The major chord is love, and she got it right.
Hello. Welcome back to Grandma's Journals. It is July 6th, so we just had 4th of July. I hope everyone had a fantastic 4th of July weekend. We definitely did here in Georgia. We had the Heaps and several families over to our house, and it was a super fun day. And honestly, the weather, I'm bragging a little bit. Sorry for my Arizona family. The weather was perfect. Oh my gosh, we could not have asked for better weather that day. So yeah, happy 4th of July, happy 250th to the U.S. It was a good weekend. So hopefully everyone enjoyed themselves. But today we are going to jump into 1993. Who's excited? I'm excited. I did not pre-read this, and I typed it up a little while ago, so I don't remember much of it. So this will be fun for both of us. It'll be like the first time for me reading it again. So I don't know, last week's podcast with the home videos in it was super fun, but I know that the recording was not that great. The sound was really quiet. I will try to do better because I know that I do have more videos. I know I have one for this, at least one, for this year, for 93. And it's already recorded, so that will probably be quiet. But I have some tapes that I got from Grandma and Grandpa's house. I think there might be a 95, and I think there's like a 97, 98. So I know there's some more home videos coming up, and I will try to do better about getting the speaker close to me so that I can film the TV. And, eventually I will put these on something digital, and then it will obviously share a lot better, but I don't have access to do that right now, and I don't want you guys to have to wait until I have access to do that. So I'm just doing it where I'm just literally recording my TV with my phone with those videos on it, and the speaker is not close to the chair that I was sitting in. So I will make sure to move the speaker closer to me so that hopefully the sound will be a little bit louder, because it was I talk and I'm super loud, and then the video plays and it was super quiet. Anyways, but hey, I'm not a professional, so it is what it is. But I thought it was fun to have some home videos in there and be able to see, all of us again when we were young, and I thought it was super fun. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that as well for those that watch the YouTube video. So anyways, without further ado, let's jump into 1993. All right, January 1st, 1993. My mom and Uncle Bill came by and stayed for a little while. Then my brother Joe and his wife Joni and daughter Jennifer came out and brought me and Alec a cute Christmas potpourri pot and all the pretty stuff to put in it. I hope our New Year starts out better than the end of 92. The 92 ended. Next year, I will go with all the snowbirds and get my flu shot. I'm still pretty weak, but I hope to gain back fast and get the new year going. The girls bought us a food dryer, so I hope we can learn to dry some food. Keep ourselves healthy for the new year. Alec is working tonight. He should be home before too long. He took extra days off so we could go to Elfrida, and wound up taking care of me instead. So he was probably ready to go back to work. I wasn't really nice to him because I kept telling him what to do, and I know he got very flustered. January 4th, 1993. I finally got out of bed today. I still feel a little yucky, but I have to get a lampshade done for tomorrow. My mom and her brother Bill Moore came and got me, took me to Mom's house. Then my brother Paul John Faraday and his wife came over and brought some Mexican soup. It sure was good. I didn't stay long. They brought me home early and helped me feed the cat and dogs. January 5th. I went to watercolor class this morning. I was feeling better, but still not as good as I would like to feel. It is rainy and cloudy and has been for 2 weeks, so I just went to class and nowhere else. I got quite a lot done on my painting, so I was glad I went. I needed to make a few stops, but because of rain, I came straight home. I wasn't home long, and Alec was out in the field checking on things, and he stopped by the house to see if they brought our water tank. Every time they run the water over the dam, we lose our water, so they brought us a big tank. Anyway, it's nice to have Alec drop by in the middle of the day. When I go to art class, I don't get to see him much. I leave so early. Alec just called and said that someone killed one of the little calves that him and our grandson Justin Hargrave bought. Alec felt so sorry for him because he saved all summer to buy calves with Grandpa, and he was so proud of them. It always hurts when you lose one, but it really hurt Alec to see his grandson hurt. It's a hard lesson to learn about being a cowboy, but there will be more cows, and the little calf will soon be forgotten as others take its place. For right now, though, the hurt is there. Some days are better than others, but with each day we learn something new. January 1993 is almost halfway over. It is going so fast. I cannot believe the days are going so fast. We have not gone to Elfrida, and so we still haven't had Christmas with our sons Steve Hunt and Jennifer. It's the 14th of the month. I hope the new year brings good things. We will have a new president of the U.S. Bill Clinton won the election. He is a Democrat and a young fella. He has a lot of good ideas, but we will see. Satan is running rampant and making all evil seem so good and right. So many young people doing whatever they please. Guns are everyday things with the young. Young people killing young people. People stopping you in the middle of the day and taking your car from you. Selling the car or the parts. Not only in Mesa and Phoenix, but all over the U.S. It makes you feel uncertain about going to the grocery store or in a restaurant. So the only thing we can do is pray each day for our family's safety and do the things the Lord asks us and know the Lord will do his part. My mom has been doing pretty good. She has a lung disease, and so it's hard for her to breathe, but when it's rainy, it is harder on her, and we have had rainy weather since before Christmas, and there has been flooding through the valley, and Alec worked all his days off. The river was so swollen, it was really scary up here at the dam. The river was really high, and trees and buildings and poles went floating down it. When the water spilled over the dam, the water at the bottom splashed back up in a curve to the top of the dam. It almost looked like the ocean. Homes were flooded, and a new bridge they were building in Tempe, the scaffolding they had built across the pillars came tumbling down. What a sight! We watched it on TV. Coolidge Dam ran wild and put Duncan and Clifton underwater. Over 100 homes were destroyed, and it's not over yet. More rain and storms to come. In fact, we have rain right now at the dam. That's Granite Reef Dam in Mesa. It's been 12 days of rain, and things are really, really getting scary. But all we can do is pray each day and go on with our life. So I remember when I first was typing this, I was curious about the bridge because, they said the bridge in Tempe, so I just automatically thought of like the Mill Road Bridge over Tempe Town Lake. So I looked it up, and I this, like I said, it's been a while ago, but I'm pretty sure it was the new bridge that they were building at that time because there's the old Mill Road Bridge and then the new one, and I think it was that bridge that the scaffolding had been like washed away basically. Anyways, you can look it up. There's pictures and stuff of it. It's crazy to see. And then like Duncan and Clifton being underwater like that. When I read that didn't surprise me at all. Cause even now, like my friends, they have lived up there for the last 12 years, 13 years, something. Anyways, they like anytime there's bad rain, it floods and they have to close that huge floodgate and they get basically like locked into the town. And anyways, it's crazy, absolutely nuts. So that was kind of, not cool because it was horrible, but if you want to go Google it and you can see pictures and stuff, you definitely can. Anyways, okay. It's Tuesday, January 19th, 1993. The sun is shining in Mesa, and the dam only got 80,000 CFS, cubic feet per second. They thought it would get 100,000, and maybe today up to 150,000. But at this time, it doesn't look like that will happen, and we are really glad. Jim and Jeanette and their family had to evacuate their home. So remember, they are living on... So Grandma and Grandpa moved to the other side of the dam, and Jim and Jeanette moved into their previous house on the opposite side. So they're both at the dam, just on different sides. Then they came back, and 3 days later, they told them to get a U-Haul and pack up everything they wanted. They put everything in the U-Haul and stayed there in case they had to go. They were ready. They live at the north side of the dam where we used to live. There are hazards to living up here, but what a great place to live. We only pay $125 a month, and it saves us so much money, and they take care of everything, so we feel like we can spend a little money and fix it up like we want. Even spending the money, we still don't spend anywhere near what it would cost to live in our own home or rent another place. We lived without water for a week, but we managed. They got us a real big tank and put it up for us because every time the dam goes over, our pipelines go out. Those are some of the hazards, but they didn't make us move up here. We chose to move here, and we love it. Alec has worked hard through the storm and has really worried about it, but as usual, he worried for nothing. But this storm was so unreal, even I was worried. Monday, January 18th, 1993. The rain was so different for Arizona storms. We had tornado warnings for all of southern Arizona and had a big black cloud come towards the house that was scary and eerie looking. I really dropped to my knees and prayed for safety. We hardly get so much rain as it went over the house and not too much wind. I was thankful when it passed and thankful for prayers that are answered. Many people lost their homes and everything they owned, so I feel really fortunate at this time. January 20th. We have a new president that was sworn in today. He is William Jefferson Clinton, a young president. It's always an exciting time, and everyone seems to forget the troubles of the world for this short time. The new president promises many good things, and you hope all of them come true. We were in war again with Saddam Hussein. On January 19th, Saddam called a peace treaty, so President Clinton will not have to deal with that for a while. It has to be a real stressful thing to become the 42nd president of the U.S., but I am hoping that he is everything he says he is, and more. My prayers are with him, and I will support him, although I voted for Ross Perot, however you say his name. I went to watercolor class today. I'm getting better, and I think I will stick with this for a while until I really learn what I'm doing. This is my third class that lasts about 8 to 10 weeks, so I've had about 25 lessons. I think after a few years I will learn something. I like oil painting, but the smell of the paints and the turpentine get to me. Watercolor is a lot cleaner. Steve and Jennifer got flooded down in Elfrida. The water got up to the house and under part of it. They should be okay. The foundation moved a little and the fireplace was shifted, but they are all okay and not ready to move out. We are planning on going to Elfrida next Tuesday and Wednesday. We are still trying to go down and have Christmas with them. Steve was still a little sick. I guess the whole family had been sick. January 27th, 1993. We are finally on our way to Elfrida to have Christmas with Steve and his wife Jennifer and all the kids. We took Brooke Ann Hargrave, our granddaughter, who is 11, so she kept us entertained all the way down, 200 miles plus a few. When we arrived, we found that Alec's mother had made Steve take her to town. We had called her to let her know we were coming and asked her to tell Steve we were coming because Steve's phone was out. Instead, she was mad at him for not coming by the day before, so she didn't tell him we were coming. We got there at about 11 a.m. and they didn't get home until 2:30 in the afternoon. Steve had school that night at 5:30, so we didn't have a lot of time to visit, but when all the kids got home from school, we had Christmas. Lori and Jeanette, our two daughters, and their families all bought Christmas for Stephen and Jennifer, so we really had fun and the kids really enjoyed it. Steve made Alec and I a really pretty jewelry box from a piece of peach tree. Stephanie gave us a real pretty vase, and she said she would really be proud of her, that we would really be proud of her because she bought it at a yard sale. We were because it was pretty. Steve and Jennifer went to school, and we went over to spend the night with Blanche McCullough, Alec's mother. The next morning, we went to the Elfrida Cafe, had breakfast with Alec's mom, then we went to visit Steve and Jennifer. The kids had goats and sheep they were raising for 4-H. Stephanie's little pygmy goat had died that morning, but they went and got another one. We had a nice visit, and the kids are growing and getting so big. Cody Clark is 2, and what a ham! He is busy and noisy and a real sweetheart. He has his own irrigation boots and his cowboy hat. When Jennifer's Aunt Sarah was there at Christmas, Cody found one of the kids' harmonicas, and he played and played that thing, and they taught him to tap his toe and to bow. He really latched onto Alec. As soon as Alec came, he never let him out of his sight. What a cutie pie.
Very good, very good, very good, very good. Take a bow.
Take a bow.
There you go. Angry go. Angry go.
We stayed until about 11:30 and then went on the way home. We didn't get to visit as much as I would have liked, but the trip home was long and Brooke was quiet, so I had to keep Alec awake. The kids had cleaned up all the yards, barns, and surroundings, and the place looked good. Lots of work to be done. We hope they don't get too discouraged. Stephen's job is very boring, and he is not happy with it, but we hope better things will come along. The kids were doing all well in school, and they all like it down there. I know it's a little depressing when things move slowly and money is not in abundance, but if that is really their dream, I hope they make it. Sometimes it's the hard times that make it all worthwhile. The lampshade business is going well. I've got all I want to do. I enjoy doing them. Every once in a while, I get one that is really a challenge, but I always learn something by doing them. All right, into February. February 16th. My mom, Mary Latimer, had bad pain in her side. We took her to the hospital because her doctor was out of town. They took some tests and sent her home. The pain was so bad we took her back to Chandler Hospital. They finally kept her but could not find anything. They gave her pain pills and antibiotics but still could not find anything. She is home now and still has a tender spot on her side but feels better. I hate to see her sick. She should be able to have a nice life from here on out. She has went through many struggles and trials in her life and always seems to land right side up. The months are going too fast and I feel like I can't do enough each day. My girls, Lori and Jeanette, gave Clint's girlfriend Cindy a baby shower. Her folks won't let her marry Clint. She's too young, they say. She's 17 and Clint is 19. He wants to marry her and she wants to get married, but I guess we will have to wait and see. Anyway, she really got a lot of nice things. She will make us great grandparents sometime this month. Alec just had his 6 days off. We always have a good time together. It seems we always have so many things to do. The 6 days fly by. I am in my last watercolor class and I did a flower picture with a hummingbird. Which I actually think that, sorry, I'm stopping here. I think that was displayed at her funeral. So I might have a picture of that. Actually, bear with me a minute while I make a note on my thing to look for that. Watercolor, flowers, and hummingbird. Hummingbird. Okay. I think I have a picture of that. Moving on. My teacher, David, asked me to have it framed and put it in the art show. It's one of the best things I've done. I was pleased with it. This is the third class I've taken. They last about 8 to 10 weeks, so I've had about 54 hours of classwork. I will continue until I can do it all on my own. I like the watercolor very much, and I hope to continue to do good. We have talked much lately about Alec retiring. We keep wondering what we will do when he retires. We've thought of several things, but haven't come up with too much. I'm still in awe that we are that old to be retiring. Life has gone by so fast, it's scary. I've been really feeling good the last couple of days. I had a setback 2 weeks ago and had some of the dizziness and crazy stuff in my head, but it went away 2 days ago, and so far, so good. I love it when I feel good. When my head goes crazy, I can't function. My nights are still a little lonely with Alec working 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., but I can always find something to do to make the night go a little faster. I wallpapered my bathroom tonight. The paper kept falling off the wall, but I finally got it to stick. It took 6 hours to do one wall that is 9 feet long. It should have taken about 1 hour. Oh well, better luck with the next room. We are planning a 50th birthday party for my brother, Paul John Faraday. I hope we can do it so he doesn't find out about it. He is such a sweet brother and has much love to share for everyone. We hear from Stephen and Jennifer from time to time. We call them and visit back and forth. They always have a positive attitude, and they are always looking for ways to better themselves and their children. They are both very family-oriented, and their life revolves around the kids, which is the way it should be. I am proud of all my children, and hopefully they always have the right kind of goals, and most of all, may the gospel be the most important thing in their life. So many young people are setting their life on the things of the world, and they don't have time for the gospel. It is really scary with so many mothers going to work and leaving their young children in someone else's hands, or they go to someone else's house after school and they don't have time with their children. It's already beginning to show on the kids. We read in the news and listen on TV where children have shot their parents or got so upset they are hurting others. It's because they are mad and upset because their lives have been turned upside down and their parents are never home, so those frustrations are taken out on others. Even violent fights between brothers and sisters because mom and dad leave them home and the oldest is in charge and the younger ones resent it day after day and the oldest ones resent it because he or she really doesn't want the responsibility. I feel sorry for young kids now. My mother was always home and we always had a snack and could talk to her as soon as we got home. Kids don't have anyone to talk to anymore. Most are latchkey kids and come home and talk to the TV. The Trade Center in New York was bombed and many hurt and a few killed. They say it was Muslim fundamentalists from Saudi Arabia. They think Saddam is getting his revenge. It is so scary out there. Kids getting beat up and killed by drive-by shooters. 2 10-year-olds back east in Chicago took a small 4 or 5-year-old and killed him. Kids as young as 10 are having sex, selling drugs, breaking into stores. Many have no homes, no parents who care, and it's getting worse. Kids are looking for more excitement at young ages because they have already done everything else. I am so glad I was raised in a simple, easy world, one that my kids will never know. A man in Waco, Texas, has almost 20 people in a cult held hostage. He says he is Jesus Christ, and he has guns, bombs, and has already killed some of the police that are protecting the area. These are just some of the things that are happening now in the USA. How sad. But Alec and I have our world that we live in. We have prayers every morning and night, and I try to read the scriptures every day. We don't have a regular family home evening, but every Sunday we sit and tell each other about our lessons for the day, then discuss them. We are so happy with our life and each other and really try to see that each other has a good day. It's always interesting, like reading, things like this that Grandma writes, because obviously this was a really long time ago, 1993. And like, obviously the world has just gotten worse, right? Things are still bad. Things aren't improving by any means. And it's just sad. It's just sad to see that. But that is one thing that I always say. I mean, I know that like we can't just be blind to it and we can't just ignore it. But like my priority is my home and my family. And if I can keep my home and my family safe, my home a safe haven and a place where my family can always feel the spirit and know that they are loved and supported, like that's my job. And that's all I can do, right? So the world is crazy for sure. And it's just getting crazier. All right. March. More birthdays in March. 3 grandkids. Stephanie Hunt is 11. Tabitha is 15. Tanner is 16. The months are going so fast. I hate when days go so fast. I feel I never get things done and that I could have done more. Lori called today and told that Cameron and Tyler got in a fight as soon as they came home from school. So she sent them to their room. Cameron explained what happened, and Lori let Cameron out of his room but made Tyler stay in his for 30 minutes. When she let him out, he flew downstairs and got the yellow pages in the phone book. Lori asked him what he wanted with the phone book. He said, "How do you spell lawyer?" She said, "What do you want a lawyer for?" He said, "Because I'm divorcing you and Dad." You guys aren't fair. Cameron talked him out of it, so he decided not to do it. Oh, these kids nowadays. We went to the Lehigh Rodeo dance, and there were so many kids that no one could dance, but we talked to a lot of people we had not seen in a while. The next day, we went to the rodeo. I took my mother, Mary Latimer, and my uncle, Bill Moore. It was fun. Lori's 2 boys both rode the little bucking cows. They both came off on their heads, but fared out pretty good. Tyler got hurt for a few minutes, but was okay after a while. They are both ready to ride next year. On the 7th of March, we had the surprise party for my brother, John Faraday. He is 50 years old. He was surprised. It was really a nice day, and I think everybody enjoyed it. I had a couple of weeks off from watercolor classes, so I go back this week. I am doing a painting of Tyler. I hope to do all the kids till I learn to do portraits. I want to start practicing at home, but it seems I never have the time. Pause again. I love that she said that because I know that she's doing watercolors, and obviously all of the portraits that she did of us are not watercolors, they are pencil. But like here she is in 1993 saying, that she hopes to do all the kids. And guess what? She did. Not in watercolor, but every single one of her kids and grandkids and some of the great-grandkids, actually I think all of the great-grandkids, have those hand-drawn pictures from Grandma, and how special that is. I love it. All right. Let's not get emotional here. I guess if I tried to explain myself to people, it would sound crazy, but ever since I was sick, I have not got my strength back. I can't do all the physical things I used to, but I can sit and paint or do lampshades. If I try to clean the house all day, I just poop out first. I'm only 58 and I should not get that tired, but I do. And when I give out, I just don't do anymore. Alec and I have really been talking about our life lately and some of the things we need to do so our retiring age will be good. We have been eating good and doing a lot of good things, but we need to do more. So we decided we needed to go to the temple more often and have decided to go each time Alec is off. So we should go 2 times a month. Watching our snacking is another thing we need to watch. And of course, be more diligent in our walking. My uncle Bill Moore, who moved in with my mother, Mary Moore Latimer, had a small stroke and we took him to the hospital. We found out he was diabetic. We hope he gets better and has some life that is good. We stayed in the hospital until Mom was so tired we took her home. They will keep Bill for a few days until they get this all figured out. Also, Alec had lunch with his boss today on March 15th. He was taken to lunch for his 25 years at SRP. They gave him a crystal plaque that said quarter century. He also chose for his gift a 14-karat gold necklace so he could give it to me. He said for those 25 years, I always made sure he got to work and fed and kept his clothes. So he says I earned it. What a sweet guy. I'm glad he is mine. Cameron and Tyler are over, and Tyler got in the mud and had the hose running so he could wash off. Kids don't remember things. We have no water because the river is running and it washed out our water line, and we have to have water brought in. Alec had a headache and he got upset with Tyler and bawled him out. Probably yelled at him. So when Tyler's folks came after him, he went over and gave Alec a big hugging kiss and said, "Goodbye, grumpy grandpa." Tyler is 8. I can't imagine Grandpa grumpy. He was just always so happy in my memory. That's funny. I love it. April is always a busy time for Alec and I. We put on a big Easter the Sunday before Easter. We have it planned, so we are doing something the whole day. We start out at 11 o'clock and have an adult treasure hunt, then a treasure hunt for the young ones, and then an egg hunt for the small ones. Then we eat. This year we had a theme. It was cowboys and everything was Western. We ate barbecue and had beans, Jell-O salad, and homemade rolls. Then we let everyone rope the calf, a wood sawhorse with a head and a tail. Everyone got a turn, young and old. Then we pitched horseshoes. Then we had a relay race. You had to put on boots, hat, and a bandana. Afterwards, Jeanette sang a few songs, and then we all sat around and visited for the rest of the afternoon. My mother, Mary Latimer, and Uncle Bill Moore came. Then my half-brother, Alan Latimer, and Becky were there with their boys, Robbie and Joshua. Our daughter, Lori and Bill and the boys, Cameron and Tyler, our daughter, Jeanette and Jim, and Tanner, Justin, and Brooke Ann, and Clint and his girlfriend, Cindy, and their new baby, Tyler James. Oops, I spelled his name wrong. Easter Sunday, Alec went back to work, and I went to church. Right after sacrament meeting, I turned around, and right behind me was this boy, Clint Bunker. He is in my class, and I teach, and he has been a real handful. He walked up and gave me a real big hug. We haven't had church in 3 weeks, so it's been a while since we've had primary. Clint is a divorced family kid, and he only comes every other week. And then we had state conference and general conference. When we went to class, Clint usually is loud and disturbs the class, but today he was so quiet and so nice. I picked him to help with sharing time, and then I leaned over and told him I was proud of him because he was so good, and he smiled and said, "Thank you." I hope this is a beginning of something sweet to come. He still has problems, but we are making progress. I was tired when I came home, so I got a bite to eat and laid down and took a nap. I don't take too many naps, but it sure felt good. Sunday night is always lonesome because I don't do much on Sundays, so when Alec is working, it makes Sundays a long day, but it's nice when he gets home at 11 o'clock. Sunday, April 25th, 1993. Today in Lehigh First Ward, we got a new bishop. Our bishop at this time is Bishop Preston Martineau. First counselor is Curtis Bennett. Second counselor is Edward Johnson. They were great men in our ward and did a great job. It's always sad when they release a bishopric, but at the same time, a very spiritual experience to have a new bishop go in. Alec and I both said it would be Eddie Johnson, and I'm sure a lot of others knew it would be Eddie, and it was. A very humble man with a big heart. I think the ward will love him as they did Bishop Martineau. He chose as his counselors Randy Spencer and a new Brother Gardner that was just recently come into our ward, who is blind but can see as well as anyone. At least it doesn't seem to be a handicap with him. We also had the privilege of a general authority, Brother Gene Cook, who has a brother, Harvey Cook, in our ward, and he came to surprise his brother. They gave him time to speak, and the meeting was such a beautiful one. Alec missed it, and I feel sad that I didn't insist that he go. He was working, and it's hard to race home and hurry and go, but it would have been worth it. I was really pleased with the meeting. It was really a spiritual experience. May 9th, 1993. Alec and I celebrated our 40th anniversary. 40 years. That is just awesome. Me and Brandon will celebrate 22 years this year, and to think about getting to 40, that's so cool. I love it. Our girls got together and had a nice dinner and celebrated for us over at our daughter Lori Fricky's house on May 8th. Stephen and Jennifer couldn't be there, but they called, and Jennifer made a wall plaque that she quilted and did a beautiful job. The next day was Mother's Day, which was also our anniversary. Alec took all the mothers and husbands and grandkids out to eat at El Charro. We never do that on Sunday, but he didn't want any of us mothers to have to cook, so maybe this one time the Lord will understand. It was nice being with the family. It's what Alec and I enjoy the most. I had my annual checkup with Dr. Seal. I had some tumors in my breast he was concerned about 6 months ago, so I started taking, Podiarco tea. I don't know. I drank a cup every day and took pumpkin seed and another herb mixture, and when I went back, the tumors were gone. So I was sure glad. Bart Robbins, the boy who stayed with us in Elfrida, graduated from college and went to an open house for him at his mom's house and Harvey. We were real proud of him. On the 22nd of May, we went to our daughter-in-law's brother's wedding, Mark Lester. He asked me to make the wedding cake. I hadn't made one in 12 years. I told him I would try. I decided to take the cake the day before and delivered it before so that I'd be sure to get it there. The day of the wedding, Mark called early and asked if I could come early and fix the cake. Some kids had gotten to the cake and took big hunks or chunks out of it. All 3 layers. I guess I had big help from the guy upstairs because the bride never knew and the cake looked fine. I took pieces of leftover cake, stuffed the holes with cake and frosting, and smoothed it all and redecorated it. The day I made it, our water went out and no water on the cooler, so it was warm in the house. I couldn't have had better luck if I tried. Steve and Jennifer came down and are going to spend the week with us. We won't have water the first day, but Monday we should get water. We are anxious to visit with them. So I went through the pictures sorry, I'm stopping. This is just me talking. I went through the pictures that I have from my Uncle Mark, because that's my Uncle Mark, obviously, and my Aunt Holly's wedding, but I couldn't find any pictures of their wedding cake that Grandma made. So I was bummed about that. And they recently, or I don't know how recently it was, but like their whole house was flooded. And so I don't even think they'd be able to find the picture if I asked for it. But I do have a picture from their wedding because me and Cody were their flower girl and the ring bearer. So I at least have this cute picture of me and Cody at their wedding. So, and I still have that dress hanging in my closet. Okay, let's see. We got through the wedding and I was really tired when I got home. The next day was Sunday and all the kids came. Stephen and Jennifer, Tabitha, Jody, Stephanie, Chelsea, Jesse, Cody, and Brooke Ann was here. The next day, Tyler came. We had 8 kids here. I'm not used to it and I got really tired, even though the kids were really good. We had a fun week. They left on Thursday morning. I really miss not having them around so we can see them often, but they are where they want to be and we hope they really make a go of it. Well, I can tell everybody that we too missed being closer. We moved to Avondale and we were super far away, and then we moved to Elfrida and we were even further away. And, we could feel it. We could feel that we were like separated from the rest of the family, but we were always grateful when we did get to go visit or people came and visited us. So, but we didn't stay there too long. We do eventually come back to Phoenix and then we're close again, but we'll get there. We're not there yet. I'm jumping ahead. All right. I had part of my primary class out here today. They each painted a design on a t-shirt. They really did a nice job. We took a tour on the dam and then had refreshments, and I took them home. They were so nice and polite, and we had a good time. Lori and Bill always have a little excitement around their house with Cameron. He got off the bus today, and the bus driver called to Lori and said, "Meet me at the bus barn immediately with Cameron." Lori said, "Cameron, what did you do?" "I just threw eggs at the bus." So when Lori looked down at him, the bus driver thanked her and said, "Most parents don't even bring their kids down." Lori left him, and he cleaned the bus out and washed it down. When Lori came back, he was eating a popsicle and talking to the bus driver. Cameron did the right thing, and him and his bus driver became friends. He's always in trouble, but in the end, something good comes out of it. The Frickies left for California this morning for a little vacation. I guess they will go to SeaWorld and let the boys have fun. I just wish them a safe return. As a mother, you never quit worrying. School is out and all the kids made good grades and are ready for a fun summer. Speaking of summer, it is June 4th already, and I have not had the cooler on for 2 days. Our weather has been in the low 90s, and the next few days they expect high 80s for the Phoenix Mesa area. This is great weather for this time of year. June 6, 1993. The degrees are 76 in Phoenix, 20 degrees cooler than usual. Also 76 here at Granite Reef Dam. June flew by without too much excitement. Valerie, my niece, had a baby shower for her soon-to-be baby. She married Charles Randall last month. He is an ex-bishop who married Lori and Bill about 14 years ago. He is now divorced and excommunicated from the church and starting over. We hope all works out and families are mended. July 1993. July is almost over and went fast. Oh, let me make sure I didn't. Okay, no, I didn't. It brought so much rain into Iowa and Missouri and Illinois that whole towns were flooded and wiped out. Farmers lost everything, and it will take billions to restore and rebuild. We have went the whole month without a drop of rain here. This is usually our monsoon rains. 4 months ago, Cameron, our 11-year-old grandson, caught a chicken at a rodeo. He is so small that he got in the race with the 8 to 10-year-olds. Some were bigger than him. Anyway, he ran after the chicken and caught him. The chicken rode home in the car. We were keeping the boys, so we brought the boys here at the Granite Reef Dam. We put the chicken in a box, and he survived the 3 days. They took him home. The chicken loved riding in the car. When the boys got him home, the dog chased it and picked its tail feathers out. The neighbor kids played with and fought over it. It ran up and down the block the other day. Lori called to let us know the chicken started laying eggs. A neighbor boy came over and started to pick the chicken up, and Cameron yelled at him to put him down or he might break the eggs in the chicken. Lori thought it was so cute. She didn't tell him otherwise. Oh, boy. Justin Hargrave and Tanner Hargrave, 15 and 16, both went to work this summer. Justin went to work for a good friend of ours, Art Freeman, in the citrus, and Tanner went to work for McDonald's. How fast they grow. Steve and Jennifer called, and Jessica was in the hospital, almost completely dehydrated, and they didn't know why. That's me, in case you didn't know. If she was not getting enough water or a malfunction with the kidneys, but she is doing better now. It's always scary when they are little. They can go so fast, and yet sometimes they are so strong. So, I was extremely dehydrated. I don't know how it happened. Obviously, just didn't get enough water that summer or something. But I did get extremely dehydrated, and I was in the hospital. I don't remember how long I was there, but a day or 2 or 3. I don't really remember, but all I do remember is they made me take an ice bath. And I know that's like a thing now that people do because they're crazy, but that was horrible, getting in an ice cold bath. I remember that. And the only other thing I remember is getting a coloring book and a little pack of crayons brought to me that I could color while I was in the hospital. So anyways, but it was a bit of a scary time because, the doctors basically told my parents, like, if she would have gone to bed tonight, she probably wouldn't have woken up. So I'm glad that I was taken to the hospital and I got lots of water pumped into me and got better, obviously, because I'm here reading y'all these journals. So, all right. Steve put in for a new job, and we sure hope he gets it. It is a building inspector for all the wards in the Elfrida area. We worry about his present job, mostly because he doesn't like it, and anyone that works in a prison, it's always a little risky. July 26th. We had a couple in our ward who had a 12-year-old son who drowned in the Salt River, Kent and Jane Jones. It is always so sad. We have known Jane for at least 30 years. She was our first babysitter for our kids in Lehigh. She came from a very strong spiritual family, and her husband have really taken this good. They are really an example and spiritual strength for all of us. It took 2 or 3 days before they found his body, which was on a Wednesday, and Jane and Kent were in church on Sunday with their whole family, and then they stood and bore their testimony. It was such a bittersweet testimony meeting. We always wonder how we would accept it if it was ours, and yet we all seem to somehow get through whatever the Lord pours down upon us. Clint James Hargrave is finally going to get married on August 28th. His baby is almost 4 months old, but finally his girlfriend Cindy has finally talked her parents into letting her get married. They had a lot of reasons for her not getting married, but the kids finally said they wanted to get on with their lives. It will not be a big wedding, but a nice one. Clint has asked me to make the flowers, so I did a silk bouquet for Cindy and her sister, her bridesmaid, corsages for the mothers and grandmothers, and the boutonnieres for the boys. Also, a garter for Cindy. Clint has an apartment, and they got moved in last weekend, August 13th. They've moved everything in except the baby stuff, and they will do that after the wedding. August 1993. August 16th, I was sitting in church, and they announced that our good friend Corinne Gray had a heart attack. I almost fell off the bench. When I got home, I told Alec, and he phoned Corey's house and talked to his son-in-law. I guess a piece of plaque fell into one of the main arteries and caused it to plug up. They went in with a rod and got the plug unplugged. If all goes well, he will be home tomorrow and back good as new in 2 months. We never know what can happen from day to day. That's why we need to do our best. Each day. We had a nice day today, August 28th. Clint Hargrave, our oldest grandson, got married. He and his girlfriend, Cindy Vaughn, had a 4-month-old son, Tyler James, and her parents would not let her get married. They said she was too young. Maybe so, but I thought she needed to get married. Clint had a good job with Shamrock. It pays almost $30,000 a year, which is pretty good for a 19-year-old. So we think it'll work out. They were married in the Catholic Church, but did not have the traditional wedding because Clint is not a Catholic and he did not go to catechism. The priest gave them some real good words of advice and even brought the baby into it. So it was sweet and simple, and they had a real nice reception afterwards. Only family was invited, so there was not too many there. Clint's first real purchase just a few days before the wedding was a new 1993 Ford Escort. His Thunderbird bit the dust. The night of their wedding, Clint got a room at the Hilton and breakfast the next day. Well, even though they had reservations, they wouldn't let them in because they weren't 21 and they didn't have their marriage license. So Cindy's dad brought their marriage license, and then her dad told them to just give them back their money. The manager said, "If you stay, we will give you the honeymoon suite and brunch in the morning." It's funny how many of us that has happened to. I guess that is just a common thing when you get married young, because it happened to them. It happened to Tyler and Travis when they got married. It happened to me and Brandon when we got married, because we weren't 21 and we were trying to check into a resort even though I booked it with my credit card. They were like, "Sorry, you guys are not old enough." I threw enough of a fit that they did eventually let us in. But anyways, I guess that's what happens when we all get married so young. But I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change me getting married as young as I did. All right, December 1993. I moved my radio and stand out of the front room, and I put my journal in the bottom of that stand. Well, I put everything out on the back porch so we could have room to have a little wedding reception here for Clint and Cindy. So out of sight, out of mind. It is December, and I have not written anything since August. My goal this year is to write something each day at the end of the day. I started early to decorate for Christmas right after Thanksgiving. Then Alec and I decided to get family gifts for our kids. We bought the Fricky Bunch a trampoline for the whole family, and we also bought the Hunt Bunch a trampoline. Ooh, and we loved that trampoline. We got a lot of use out of it. Even got my nose broken on it from Stevie. Thanks. They were all happy with the gift. The Hargraves wanted us to help them buy a spa and a gazebo, so we gave them a chunk to get what they wanted. So we didn't have a lot of shopping to do, which was nice. It gave me more time to do other things. I had a lot of lampshades to do before Christmas, so that kept me busy up to 3 days before Christmas. We had our family get together and read Christmas stories and had hot chocolate and donuts, and the kids exchanged family gifts. Christmas Day, Alec and I went to my mother's and had a little Christmas with her, then over to Bill and Lori's. The day before Christmas was Lori's birthday, and we went over and took my mother, and Jeanette and her kids came, and we took gifts, a watercolor that I had painted, and a Western blouse, and Jeanette got her a cute Western skirt. Bill and Lori are taking Western dance lessons. We stayed for Christmas dinner at Bill and Lori's. We had prime rib and all the trimmings. It sure was good, but we were tired and ready to come home. Alec and I have been having our own Christmas together, and it's real nice. He bought me a pretty wooden bird cage. I have a little collection around the house, and a musical merry-go-round. I have a picture and a big merry-go-round to go upstairs, a pair of shoes, books, and a watch. I feel like a kid again getting all the gifts I could never have. I bought him Levi's, a Levi jacket, and a feather bed. We both enjoy the bed. It's like a mattress that goes over top of our mattress. He is real easy to please. He never asks for much, but always makes sure I get what I want or ask for. The day after Christmas, Alec and I and our grandson Justin Hargrave left for Elfrida to have Christmas with Stephen and Jennifer and the kids. They were all in good spirits and had a nice Christmas. We also visited with Alec's mom and had a little Christmas with her. She is 87 and can't quite keep a conversation going. She goes from one thing to another, but she still cooks her own food and takes care of herself. Steve and Jennifer look in on her every day. We had Christmas dinner with Steve and Jen, turkey, ham, potatoes, green beans, and all kinds of desserts. We helped the kids put up the trampoline the next morning, and Stephanie cracked her tailbone, and the doctor told her not to do anything until he released her. She still had a few weeks to go. She jumped on the trampoline and turned a flip. Her mom told her to get off, so she did one more flip before she got off, just like a 12-year-old kid. We left before noon and headed for home. We got Justin home, then came home and put on our PJs and put on a good movie and went to bed. December 28th. Alec and I took the car to the garage this morning. It seems we're really getting the car overhauled every time we turn around, but we've had it for almost 4.5 years and we haven't put much money into it. I had to take my shoes back that Alec bought me. They were 5.5 and too big. So when we went back, they were having their sale and I got 3 pairs for just a little more than the 1 pair. We went through the mall but didn't find too much, so we went grocery shopping and stopped by my mom's and came home. Alec helped me take all the Christmas decorations down and we put them away. The house seems empty, but we are glad to get them cleaned up and put away. Now to settle down and get ready for bed. All right, December 29th, 1993. Alec and I went to town to get the car. We just told each other that our eye doctor would not be in on Wednesday the 29th. So thinking it was Thursday, we drove 22 miles to the eye doctor, and 1 block before we got there, we both looked at each other and said, he is not there on Wednesday. We must have had that 60-year-old brain. We picked up the car and Alec headed for home. I went by Kmart to get a link taken out of my watch, and while I was there, I bought a Christmas tree, a fake one, for $10. I also bought a couple t-shirts on sale for $3.99 and also found pretty Christmas cards for next year. Jeanette was picking me up at 12:30 to go to the herb lady. I am really into herbs because it's the only thing that has helped me. When I came home, Alec was cleaning up the back porch and I finished the wash, and then we ate dinner, meatloaf, veggies, and baked potato. We sat down and watched a church movie, Building the Salt Lake Temple. There is not much on TV these days to watch. I made a small lampshade while we watched the movie and then went to bed. December 30th, Alec and I slept in this morning. We stayed up a little late. I finished my wash and we did a few things around the house. Brooke Ann and Tyler, our grandchildren, came to visit. Brooke Ann lives on the north side of Granite Reef Dam, and Tyler Fricky was visiting her, and they rode their bikes over to visit us. Kids are so cute. They tell all, and they are so honest, and everything is just being discovered and wonderful. It's kind of like eating a special dessert when they are here. They all like to eat as soon as they get to Grandma's house. It was almost lunchtime, so they found some Monster hot dogs and made them a sandwich. Tyler told us all about winning 2 movie tickets and how him and Brooke Ann went to the movies, and then Cameron decided to go. Cam is Tyler's older brother. Tyler is 9 and Cam is 12 and Brooke Ann is 12, so they are still a lot of fun and don't take life too serious. After they got their bellies full, they were ready to head home. Alec and I went to town. I had a lampshade to take in, and Alec wanted to get shocks on the car. They didn't have the shocks Alec wanted, so we just came on home. Alec brought the clothes in off the line. I put them away. I still haven't gotten a dryer. Then Alec wanted to make beans for New Year's Eve, and I wanted spaghetti for tonight, so we were in the kitchen for several hours. But our spaghetti was good, and the beans are ready for tomorrow. Think we will go to bed early, so we are not staying up late tonight. And last entry of the year, December 31st, 1993. Right now, it's 2.5 hours away till 1994. Alec and I just had a regular day, doing a little cleaning. Alec went to work and worked up the ground with his rototiller in the garden. Alec went out. He didn't go to work. He went out and worked up the ground with his rototiller for the garden. I ironed for a few hours. I got so far behind. We had my mother, Mary Latimer, and her brother, Bill Moore, over for dinner. We had leftover spaghetti and the beans Alec made, and a plate of carrot sticks, celery, and peanut butter, and apples and cheese. Also, we made some cornbread muffins. For dessert, we had apple cobbler, then toasted in the new year with sparkling apple cider. Mom and Bill left at 8:30 p.m., and Alec and I were watching the news and then off to bed. At our age, 59 and 60, it's not that much fun to stay up for the new year. We found out it's still there when we get up the next morning. 93 was a good year for us, and we are looking forward to a new year. Right after Mom and Bill left, Alec came in the house after seeing them out and took my hand and said, "Come with me. I have a surprise gift for you." We went outside and he showed me the most beautiful moon, then gave me a hug and a kiss. Isn't he a romantic guy? So sweet. I love it. All right. That is 1993 in the life of Peggy Hunt. So fun. That was a much better year than the year before. Not too much sickness or anything. And we had weddings and babies and all kinds of things. So good. Sorry, my throat is getting so dry. I'm glad she was done writing. But a good year. So I will throw some videos and some pictures in there with it for y'all to enjoy. And we'll see you next week for 1994.